What's happening, my Spockalites, and welcome to another Spocktacular review. Today we'll be analyzing Aegislash. The reason for that is because I saw a lot of questions from a lot of people on how Aegislash works exactly, and I've been using Aegislash in my gym teams, and I've been using it in some tournaments, and I like this Pokemon, so I wanted to share my thoughts on this Pokemon. So I'll be showing you 3 sets in total. One of which I use in my gym, the other one I've used in a tournament that I covered on my channel, and the third one is one that I've made, but I still need to level it to the point where I could use it in Wi-Fi battles. But that's okay, it will soon be there, and then you'll get to see plenty of action with Aegislash. So, first of all, some general information about Aegislash. By that I mean, what does stance change do? Because that's what makes Aegislash so special, is his ability. So let's look at what Pokemon Showdown is saying about the ability. The Pokemon changes form depending on how it battles. Now that doesn't give plenty of information, so let me explain to you guys. What you see here now, this Aegislash, the sprite here that you see is Aegislash in its shield form. And what is the shield form? As you can see, the stats, he now has 60 HP, 150 defense and 150 special defense. But in return he only has 50 attack and 50 special attack, and the speed is 60. So not the best stats offensively, but that's exactly what Aegislash in the shield form is. It is a very defensive wall. No, it's not a wall, it's just a very bulky Pokemon in general. So, that is important to know, because what does stance change do? The moment you decide to use an attacking move, meaning a move that does direct damage, I'm talking Sacred Sword, Iron Head, Shadow Ball, Flash Cannon, whatever, this Aegislash will switch into his blade form, as you can see here. Oh no, illegal. No, that doesn't matter. You go into the blade form. As you can see, the sprite is different now. He's no longer hiding behind his shield. Instead, he is standing firmly with the shield in hand. And now let's look again at his stats. In the shield form, his base stats have swapped. So his attack and his defense stat have swapped, and the special attack and the special defense stat have swapped. So right now what you have is a very fearsome, sweeping Pokemon, but very frail and still very slow. So basically that is what stance change do. That is what it does. My grammar is not up to speed today. So that's good to know, that's important to know. But what does this basically mean? When you switch in Aegislash, it goes automatically into his it always switches into his blade form. So basically with those stats you can take a lot of hits that are not super effective. Of course, an earthquake will always hurt like a motherfucker, so you have to be careful with those. But because of his unique typing also, Ghost Steel, he has a lot of resistances and immunities. He's immune to fighting type attacks, he's immune to normal type attacks, and he's immune to toxic attacks. And basically toxic or poison attacks. Poison attacks are fairly common now in this metagame because of the rise of the fairy types. So having someone immune to 2 very common attacks, so I'm talking about fighting and poison, that is a very decent switch-in opportunity. And also it resists fairy types, so Aegislash is a very good partner to dragon Pokemon. So that's good to know. So with that bulk and with a lot of immunities / resistances, you can basically switch this guy in and start doing shenanigans. So the first set I want to show you is the one I've been using in my gym team, and what I basically just do is I gave it leftovers. Why? Because of one attack that I will always use is the King Shield. King Shield is the signature move of Aegislash. And what it does, it protects the user from attacks, and contactors get minus attack. Yeah, what does it mean? It works like a protect, except that it doesn't protect you from status moves. So Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave, Leech Seed, and all those kind of abilities, they will still hit you. But anything that does direct damage will be blocked by the King Shield. Now, contactors get a minus attack. What does that mean? Is that if anything wants to throw a physical hit at you, a U-turn, a fire punch, X-Scissor, whatever, anything that's not named Earthquake, because Earthquake is not a physical attack, it just, yeah, it destroys the ground below you, you know, it doesn't touch you. So anything that wants to do something like that gets an attack drop. But what is not explained here, and what is important to know, is that King Shield switches you from the blade form back into the shield form. So this is a very important attack to have, to switch freely between your attack and your defense boost, or your special attack and your special defense boost, because the only other way to go back into the shield form would be switching out. So if you're not playing King Shield, you are basically playing with a choiced Pokemon, because after attacking you'll be so frail, yeah, with the 50 defense and the 50 special defense, that anything could take you out with a neutral hit. So that's why King Shield is so important. So because you King Shield one turn, you can gain some leftover damage, recovery, increasing your survivability. The second attack I added to this guy was Swords Dance. So again, we are banking on his ability to tank a lot of hits. You switch him in, or you let something die. You switch this guy in full health, fully in the shield form. Then, unless he has like an Earth Power or an Earthquake, and it's stab or boosted or whatever, unless it has that, you can easily take one hit and set up a Swords Dance. Now at that point you'll be at +2 attack, so that's great. Now of course you want to utilize those attack boosts, so I added in Shadow Sneak as an attack. So you have the option here to go for a Shadow Claw or a Shadow Sneak, but remember, Aegislash is slow. Only has 60 base speed, and you don't want to invest into speed on this guy. You want to invest in bulk and attack. I'll show you guys later. So here I wanted to go for the Shadow Sneak, because imagine that you've set up your Swords Dance, and at +2 in the blade form you'll have 150 base attack with 252 attack investment, a positive attacking nature, and a +2. That is just gonna sting a lot of Pokemon. So that is great, and with those 3 attacks you already have a very fearsome Pokemon. But of course there are still things that can take those Shadow Sneaks very nicely, for example Dark types. But Aegislash has an answer for that, and that answer is called Sacred Sword. Sacred Sword is a fighting type physical move with 90 base power and 100% accurate, 24 PP. That's great, that's all great. And the added bonus of Sacred Sword is that it ignores the target stat stage changes. So if someone tries to set up on you with, for example, a bulk up or stockpile or cosmic power or whatever, it doesn't matter, Sacred Sword ignores all those boosts, so you'll still be at +2 after the Swords Dance, and they will their stat boost will be ignored. So that's great. So that's the set I've been using in my gym teams, and if you don't know, if you don't expect, if you don't know how to handle with an Aegislash built this way, it can easily sweep your team. So that's the first set, but before we finish off the set, I just want to go and look at the stats. Like I said, I want to invest 252 points into HP, because now it will have 324 health, which is reasonable. It's not the most, but it's still very reasonable. But combined with the 150 base defenses, it makes you pretty bulky. You don't want to invest into speed or to outspeed anything, because you have the Shadow Sneak. So putting 252 points into HP with those defenses allow you to take some very a very large range of unboosted stab neutral attacks. You know, like a Thunder Punch or something. I don't know. I'm just saying a Thunder Punch or a Thunderbolt. Yeah, it can live one. And the second thing I want to do is I want to put a positive nature in attack here and a negative nature into speed, giving it the brave nature, and add 252 points to his attack stat and 6 points just to the special defense. I choose special defense here because of King Shield with the attack drop, and that way you can, yeah, you know, it's just 1 point extra for a special defense. So yeah, but basically here this is a very cookie cutter set. 252, 252, 6. Right now that's just 218, but let's go into the blade form with this guy and look at that again. Look, 438 attack, and that is just unboosted. If you go +2 at that, after a Swords End, that is doubled. That is doubled. That's 876 attack. So that is very threatening, and that's why I love this set, and that's why I wanted to use it in my gym team. Now the second set I want to show you is gonna be Aegislash. Yes, there we go. It's basically the same as the first one, except that we're not gonna use Swords Dance. We are gonna use King Shield again, and we are gonna use the same EV spread. So 252 plus 252, 6 here. Oh no, 6 here, minus here, and we're gonna put the plus back here. But instead of Swords Dance, we are going to add the Shadow Sneak, the Sacred Sword, and we're gonna leave this open for a while. But we're not gonna use leftovers. This time we are going to use Weakness Policy. So basically here you have the first set that likes to use Weakness Policy. Because you are so bulky, we're banking again on the fact that you're very bulky. You can take one unboosted super effective attack. I see my Aegislash live a Life Orb Dark Pulse from a Greninja, which gets stabbed. So it lives with, yeah, okay, maybe not the most HP left, but like 20% HP still left. And then the Weakness Policy procs off, and you can just destroy that Greninja with a Sacred Sword. The third attack here, you can either go for a stab steel type attack if you need the steel coverage. If you have some dragons in your team and you have problems with fairy types, you can go for the Iron Head. It's a steel type, it's stab, and it will hit off the attack, which is nice. But what you also can do is you can still have the steel type coverage, but for example go for a Flash Cannon, which is also a steel type move, but it's a special attack. As you can see here, it still has a decent amount of power, and it even has a 10% chance to lower the target special defense by 1. Now that doesn't really matter. You don't want to rely on hacks for things. So, but it is a nice little bonus. And this will actually turn Aegislash in a very decent Wallbreaker, because the Shadow Ball here is better. Shadow Ball will turn this Aegislash into a very decent Wallbreaker, because nothing can take Sacred Swords or Shadow Sneaks very well. And if something if something is there that does, for example, a Skarmory, which is very physically defensive, then you can just throw Shadow Balls. The same with Gliscor. Why is it Scizor? I don't know. With Gliscor. Now, usually Gliscors are very defensive, so HP, and defense, Impish Nature, and all that good stuff. But it carries the Earthquake. Now, imagine that he switches in the Gliscor on your Sacred Sword, and he completely walls that. So what he wants to do, what he wants to go for is either a knockoff or an Earthquake, and both attacks are super effective on Aegislash. But because he is defensive, usually they won't do that much damage. Your weakness policy will proc, and at that time you can retaliate with a +2 stab Shadow Ball, and that will do a huge chunk of damage to the Gliscor. So that's always nice. Afterwards, depending on the amount of damage that you do, you can finish it off with a Shadow Sneak, or you can usually you can finish it off with a Shadow Sneak. So that's basically a wall breaking Aegislash. That's nice. That's very nice. Now, the third set I want to show you. Did I do everything here? Yeah, okay. The third set I want to show you is we go to Aegislash again. So I'm not explaining to you anymore about the stance change and all that. We are going to give him a weakness policy again. And the King Shield, pretty basic. But this time we are going to focus on a special stat, because you can't forget that the same thing happens with a special attack, a special defense. When he switches his stance, when he switches his form, he will get 150 base special attack. So if your team is more in need of a special sweeper instead of a physical sweeper, you can easily go with double stab here, Shadow Ball and Flash Cannon. So that's already very threatening, because Shadow Ball has a decent amount of coverage, especially since steel types no longer resist it. So that's great. Now the final move that you want to put here, on the special side, he doesn't have that much coverage. As you can see, there is not much here. The only thing you have left are hidden powers. You see, that's about it. So you can go, you can choose here to add some hidden power according to what you want to cover. But in principle, I don't like this. What I do like is just add the Shadow Sneak again. So basically, you are now focusing on his special stats. So we are gonna add 252 HP again, but this time we're gonna give it a positive nature in special attack, a negative nature in speed, and once again 6. You can choose, maybe put 6 in attack. I don't know, because of the Shadow Sneak. But what this basically means is you have Shadow Ball and Flash Cannon to do a lot of damage. Usually they expect you to be physical, so they will send in a physical attacker, so a Shadow Ball or a Flash Cannon will surprise them. And then afterwards, with a weakness policy, you still have the 150 base attack, and the Shadow Sneak will be able to take whatever was still left. So yeah, those were the 3 sets I wanted to show you guys. Now, before I finish up this video, I wanna explain why you need to keep his speed low. Actually, the sole reason for this is the Aegislash mirror match, which means basically that both opponents will send out an Aegislash. Both will have full HP and all that, the unused Aegislashes. Now, when you're in shield form, you can tank a lot of hits because you have the HP investment and because you have the 150 base defenses. When you attack, which you usually will do, you will switch into the blade form, which will reduce your defenses. So after you attack, you will be very frail. So to avoid that, you need to be slower than whatever is attacking you, because if you go first and you can't finish off the Aegislash, if you can't finish off the opponent's Pokemon and he's gonna attack you again, then he will do a lot more damage. So for that reason, I chose to give it a negative speed nature so that it will always go last. and basically that means that it will always be in defense form when it gets attacked, but goes into blade form when it will attack. And then afterwards you can either switch out or King Shield or finish it off with the Shadow Sneak if you did enough damage. So basically that's what I still wanted to explain. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Really give this Pokemon a try. If you need a Pokemon, let me know in the comment section below. I do have some 5 IV Honedges left that you can have them. You know, they're filling up my box. You can definitely have them. I don't need anything in return, so that doesn't really matter. So leave your friend code in the comment section below, and you can get one for me. It's okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, of course. And yeah, I hope to be battling you guys soon. Until then, I'm Sparkles, and I bid you adieu.